I'm gonna be that doomer now. And
You're,
when
you're
it
the.
comes to gaming, they're like gaming is doomed.
It's not doomed. It's
Doomed.
not doomed. I promise you, it's not doomed.
Doomed.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Two Buds and One Podcast. I am your host, the Techno Jelly, with my co-host Alchem Games here live on his Twitch channel, slightly earlier and on a different day because I had stuff to do on our normal days. But it's okay. The show must go on, as the kids would say. I think I just aged myself. I think I just aged myself. I'm gonna move on.
No,
and I don't want to think about it. So I wanted to bring up something, Alchem, that I think happened right after we stopped last week's podcast, which was kind of funny. So I don't know how much we want to retread, but something else happened, and it's about Warner Brothers.
What do they do now?
So Warner Brothers, either like a couple hours after or the next day, are delisting games on Steam.
Oh yeah, that
happened right after the podcast, basically, and
Yeah,
they're
I forgot about
because they're delisting the all games by Adult Swim Games, which is apparently under their label, which is interesting. And they're just completely delisting them. Which, I mean, to be fair, games get delisted all the time. But it's just so weird that they're delisting these random games by this one publisher that, like, hasn't published games since, like, the early 20-teens. It's just so weird.
History.
They're just purging everything. Some of the games, have you seen some of the listed games that might be purged soon?
Was one of them that one unicorn game, the one where it's like flying through space and stuff?
It might be. It's by Adult Swim. It's Adult Swim games, right? So their catalog is quite unique.
It's like Metal Unicorn something, whatever.
Yeah.
I forgot.
But I mean, have you ever? I'm sure you've seen either gameplay of other things or from other YouTubers. You remember Duck Game?
That's it. Robot Unicorn Attack.
Robot Unicorn Attack. Okay, yeah.
I don't know if it's on Steam, but I remember that.
Yeah.
I just played that game and that was awesome.
Yeah, but like Duck Game is on.
Oh yeah, Duck Game was a popular one.
That might get delisted, which sucks.
Lord.
Rain World, which is a really crazy like a 2D platformer that's like super, like it's actually like hitting a stride right now, which sucks for a lot of people. But
I might actually need to get Duck Game before it goes away, or it gets delisted.
Maybe, honestly, maybe. The problem is that game, I mean, the good thing is that game doesn't run on servers. It's just peer-to-peer multiplayer.
Exactly. So I just
the problem is that there's a chance that Warner Brother also takes it from your library. Like they completely delete the game.
I don't
There's
know
a
if they're
chance.
able to.
They can. But they can technically legally, and they're allowed to do that. But the problem is they have to get Steam. Like it's not they can't do it. They have to tell Steam to do it, and Steam can't say no, right? But the problem is that that's more steps, and they don't. And because this is probably just a, oh no tax thing, they're probably just delisting them for random things because they're probably shutting down Adult Swim Games. They're probably closing Adult Swim Games, so they're deleting all the assets for it. But I've seen some of the funniest things, though, Alchem, is, okay, so there's this puzzle game, right, released in 2014 by Adult Swim Games. It was published by them. It was a single developer, and he goes in depth about how he owns the rights to the game. He owns he owns everything, right, except for the Steam page, technically. Right? So Adult Swim Games / Warner Brothers are the ones who own the Steam page because they're the publisher, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So he requested, he's like, okay, well, if you don't want any part of this, just give me the Steam page then. You know, just hand over the rights to it. And then he gave them a very detailed explanation, and he said it's 3 clicks to give him the rights. And their response was no, we don't have the manpower to do that. So his response is he's now giving away that game for free on his website because he can't stop it from being delisted. So he's just giving it away for free now. So they don't get anything from it. And
honestly,
it's just so weird.
Deals with stuff.
I mean, my biggest thing is like I don't like. Is Warner Brother is Adult Swim Games that big of an asset? They haven't actually published anything since like 2019 or something like that. Like it's been like years since they've actually done anything. Which I mean, to be fair, in my opinion, is why do you own this company and have people in this company that hasn't done anything for? It's a publishing company and hasn't published anything in like 4 years. Like what is the management here? Like what is the
technically the last game that I'm aware of? They apparently published in 2022, so it's been 2 years since they actually published a game.
Yeah,
still,
maybe.
This is very very slim in terms of games that they pulled out. I actually didn't realize. I thought their last game was a Rick and Morty virtual reality thing, but no, they
no. But this is this isn't their games. This is their publishing label.
Yeah. Oh, the publishing label. I thought it was the Adult Swim Games.
Well, it is. It's the problem is that it's like I don't know. It's a little complicated, unfortunately. It's one of those things where it's kind of probably purposely complicated on purpose. You know what I mean?
All I know is that it's gonna suck when all this gets taken away, just because. Well, you would try to ask the Warner Brothers for answers, they'll probably just shrug at you and just give you some vague bogus answer.
No. Oh, no. Their last game was 2020.
Oh, okay.
They were going to publish Rain World. Actually, no. Oh, no, they don't own Rain World. They were going to publish Rain World, but they lost the rights to it. Interesting. A lot of confusing stuff. Yeah, because the last game that they published, technically, was the Samurai Jack game.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one. Wait a minute.
Which was apparently a good game.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Is that even still there? So now I'm worried because I actually own that game, and if that's gone from my Steam list, I'm gonna kill someone.
Well, it's unlikely.
Figuratively.
Yeah. It's unlikely that they will take the games away like fully. It's just a delisting from specifically Steam / other digital providers, most likely.
They can take my games from my cold dead hard drive.
It's actually a new fancy hard drive, actually, technically.
Yeah. So it'll be dead in a very long time, not anytime soon.
Yeah.
Still though, that sucks.
So it's gonna be interesting to see what happens with that overall. And honestly, I feel like there are less and less reasons for publishers to exist. You know what I mean? Like, what do publishers do now?
Technically, publishers are supposed from
in
the
theory,
general idea, they're supposed to be the ones who publicize the game, make it
marketing,
make it advertised, marketing, make sure people actually know it exists, so there's actually a group that'll buy it before it even comes out.
The problem is though,
they don't do that anymore.
Marketing, it's not that they don't do that, is that the best way to market things is to just show people it. And you don't really need a marketing. I mean, like, obviously marketing budgets probably help. I mean, like, the most popular video games in the world are like Fortnite, COD, and their marketing budgets are insane. Their marketing budgets are literally half of the developing budget, probably, for the last time I checked.
I'm trying to think.
But
like, the last time I saw a commercial for.
I don't see commercials for video games anymore, honestly. But I also don't watch TV. Like, the problem is that I think the thing with publishers is that there is a disconnect of where people are watching advertisements. Because, I mean, like, I feel like I'm sure there's a significant portion of the population that still watches cable TV. You know? I'm sure. You know? Like, it can't be, like, it wouldn't exist if enough people wouldn't still do it, you know what I mean? But one of the biggest things to me is that like some of the biggest like advertising stuff now is just straight up YouTube and TikTok. And like the best ads for those platforms are, to be fair, a little scummy, but they're supposed to be designed to look like a YouTube video or a TikTok. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, do you need millions of dollars in marketing budget for that? I mean, I guess it depends on how fancy or crazy you want to go, but like, I don't know.
I'm just thinking the only ads I ever see nowadays are ones for some of those dumb mobile games now.
Oh, all the fake mobile games?
The fake mobile
Dude,
games.
I so desperately want some of those fake mobile games. I want someone to make those fake mobile games.
Because
like,
that ad, with
like
the fake
no,
gameplay that
like
isn't
just
real.
I want the fake gameplay, all that fakeness. I want someone to make a game out of it because man, those look like.
Yeah,
I'm
the
like, dude,
actual ones look like really.
I'd buy that for like $10 on Steam. You know, like that's a budget game, and I'd play that.
Like the ones with the zombies, and they're kind of like where they're getting chased by zombies, and you have to like scroll by and like grab certain power ups and stuff. That one looks cool. The one where you're like having to decide to level up stuff or fighting stuff that's either weaker than you and stuff, and level up via that. Looks fun. Not real. That's not how the game plays.
It's even like the like that. I see that this constant ad on Twitter. It's the one where it's the guy trying to get the girl, and you have to do like math problems basically. That game. That game. I don't think it's anything. Like I said, I've never looked up. I've never looked that up. I don't dare click on the ad because I don't want. Who knows what's going to happen if I click on that link, you know? But like, I'm like, you know, honestly, like that is like the most by the book, numbers go up, good feeling game, and I kind of want that, you know.
But no, that's not even close to what it is. And honestly, I swear, if they just made that, probably people would play it.
Probably, honestly, like the one thing about these fake gameplay things is the mobile ads. I'm like, I don't. I mean, it's probably they don't know how, like they can't make that game. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I love the ones that are like the technical, like the boat girl games, the stuff where all they do is show the small
art.
Little part where you talk to the girls and either like advance their progression through relationships.
They don't actually show any of the gameplay.
Yeah, that's in the game, but that's like a small fraction of it, and that's just building up your.
It's like not
your,
even 1% of the game,
kind of thing. Yeah, and in reality, that's nothing of the gameplay, nothing at all.
It's like a 2D shooter.
I was okay. Nikkei, when that shit originally came out, they showed gameplay, and they did not hide the fact that one of the biggest things was you're just aiming. The girls are just like hiding under or behind.
They're doing waist time cover, and you can see behind them.
Yeah. When they're shooting, you just see their ass jiggle constantly. Yeah. But then after that, they started to just show the whole progression system, or like the whole leveling up system with the relationship thing. And I'm like, what happened to the gameplay? What happened to the ass jiggle stuff? I mean, that's still there, but
that's still there.
You kind of just started doing that scummy practice where you're trying to show that it's just a waifu simulator or something like that.
I mean, to be fair, from what I've seen, that game is actually like it's decent.
Yeah, it is.
Like it's an actual game. I would definitely not categorize them under the scummy. Like the scummy mobile.
They're doing
ads.
that one tactic.
They're doing the waifu bait, but waifu bait and fake mobile games are two different things. I would say. Fair. I don't mind the waifu bait. Like the waifu bait, I'm like, look, guys, you do what you got to do. There's so many of those types of games nowadays that like, it's crazy how many waifu games there are now. I don't understand why you'd want to try to go up against Genshin. Or Honkai.
Listen. You can never go wrong with waifus. You can never go wrong with too many. You can always have more.
I guess so.
So many.
Not for me though. There's too many.
There's all kinds of waifus.
Honkai is enough for me.
Muscular ones, thick ones.
Honkai is enough for me.
I'm thinking of the Joe Cat video again, the one where I like girls. And I don't know why that thing's making rounds again. That thing's making rounds again for some reason.
It's because it's because he left because of that.
Yeah, but he left it like a year ago, and it's back. I'm seeing people
Well,
post it again, like
yeah,
it's relevant
it-
again, and I'm like, it's not. You guys made them leave the internet because you guys were assholes about this.
Yeah.
Because you thought this was. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. I never really understood the full argument. From what I thought,
I don't get it.
understood,
I don't get why people
Yeah.
are angry about it.
It just sounded like some people were like, "Oh no, my masculinity," and I'm just like,
some-
"What do you mean your
probably.
masculinity?" He's literally talking about how he. Likes
He's
girls
literally
and
talking
shit.
about liking girls. Yeah, it's so it's I don't get it. But you know what? I've determined that I just there's many things I don't get, and I don't try anymore.
The internet is a weird, interesting.
I
Funny,
try
sad,
to understand.
interesting place.
Yeah, I try to understand some of the people that get angry about that stuff, but like I'm just like I just can't. I just don't get it.
It's just whatever it is. I mean,
I wish I had
Uh,
that
for
much
me-
energy sometimes.
for me, I still just have waifus, so I'm good. I
It's
just
true.
have all those different anime waifus.
Yep.
Also, I have my own waifu, so I'm good with that too.
Wow, way to brag about it.
I
Wow.
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 What an asshole.
It's time to start the twit longer.
Wow, it's great. I'm gonna get canceled by a slime.
I'm just gonna get you canceled. It's what
I can't-
happens.
Wow, you dick. I can't believe you.
I'm already writing the
But-
twit longer. Luckily, I have a lot of dirt on you, so you know it's good.
Though I am honestly curious when the day comes, when Adult Swim games or whatever the
Oh, when
one
they're
that
officially
WB
getting
holds,
when they're
when they
officially shutting down.
Yeah, I want to see. Like honestly, it's purging. While it is in their right to do what they wish with their individual property or their independent property, part of me is like, you're kind of wiping a bit of history.
Oh
away
yeah,
now.
game preservation is like doesn't exist
No one-
basically. It's totally
Yeah,
it's a
there's no-
third party. It's a third party effort for game preservation.
Yeah, just like how back then books weren't considered that kind of thing, and now they are. People must cherish them. People must preserve them, keep them as part
Yeah.
of history. I feel like it's the same thing with video games because it is something of the era. It's something
Yeah.
of the culture.
It
represents
shows a
whatever the
lot of
heck what it
things.
was. Mm-hmm. And once it's gone, and you will never get it back. And unless someone finds it or finds some old like hidden tech or
Yeah.
finds the old copies and sells it for thousands or
I mean,
hundreds.
yeah, it's like I mean, honestly, I don't believe the whole thing. Like I kind of understand the people that are scared that physical media in video games is going away, but I just don't see it happening. Like I feel like it'll be one of those things where physical media in video games at least is one of those things where it will be limited editions or stuff like
Kelly?
that. What?
You tell me where I can find a copy of Pokemon Emerald or Pokemon Crystal or any Pokemon game cartridge of the Game Boy or Game Boy Advance era, where it's still the same price, and then I will agree
No,
with
no,
you.
I'm not
that physical
talking-
Media,
I'm not.
physical.
Yeah, but that's
yeah.
old. But like no media, video games or not, does that. You know what I mean? Like even you're going with the books example, old books still sometimes cost a ton because no one prints them out anymore. I'm not, you know?
You know what? You're right.
Like
You're
it that I agree that's a problem, Alchem, but that's unfortunately not a video game problem. That's like a human consumer culture problem. You know?
The only argument I'd have against that is because eventually books get digitized and you get to move them over to tablet format or online and everything because they have been doing that in order to preserve books.
Yeah.
Because the games are owned by a company and the company does not want to do anything like that. They'd rather make money off of it.
Yeah.
It's all up to the will of the actual developer or the publisher or whoever owns the right to the game. In this case,
Yeah.
like Nintendo, they don't want to they're like, what? No, we're done. We shared our game back in the Advance era or the
Yeah.
DS era. We're not making it again. No, fuck you.
Yeah. I mean, luckily for us, there is a good degree of hacker culture. So, luckily we don't have to depend on them to preserve video games. There's many people that are preserving video games themselves for good reason and like not doing exploiting or anything like that. So, I mean, that's generally good. But it's like I said, The original thing I was gonna say is like people are worried that like physical media itself is dying for video games because like discs aren't being sold anymore, or like it's not the main way. It's not guaranteed that you're gonna get a disc. Which, first of all, I just don't think it's true. Like, I mean, the more people I meet in America, the more I learn that the internet infrastructure in America is not ready for a digital world. It's just not. Like,
yeah, no.
can you imagine digital only in like some remote parts of America? Like people are forgetting how bad the internet is in some places in the US. Like in Canada, it's not that much better. We're slightly better, but that's also just because there's less people in Canada, so it's not like as vast. And ironically, there's less competition because like there's like a pseudo monopoly here, but that's a whole different topic. But anyway, like the internet just isn't good enough in most of America for a digital only world. I just don't see it happening. It's going to take people 20 years to download a video game. Like, it's just never going to happen. Also, one of the bigger things, in my opinion, as well, is that like we have there is like two. What's it called? Like, oh god, I've completely lost my train of thought somehow.
Sorry, I'll interject till you get your thing. I do agree with you. Yeah, the U.S. isn't ready for a digital only thing because I keep forgetting because I live in my area. It's mostly a lot of people are connected online. A lot of people use online. It's a daily thing. So the idea that some people do not even use it for anything, like for their job, for entertainment, for anything, it sometimes slips my mind. So yeah, when you do find that area, that one rural area, that one like district, state, county, and the internet is not a big factor there, yeah, you forget. Okay, say everything is digital now, and you can't just go to the store and pick up a video or pick up anything like that, a DVD or anything like that. Yeah, it wouldn't work there. They would be pissed.
Yeah, and you're just losing customers.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is all supposed to be about money and saving money, but you're losing customers when you're doing that as well.
Yeah. So all of a sudden they just start implementing this. Yeah, you can't buy videos no more. You now have to have a computer, and someone in the middle of bumfuck nowhere doesn't have a computer, or doesn't rely on one, or doesn't give a shit about having one.
Well, it's not even just that. It's just that, like, even places, like, I'm not even talking about places that, like, are super out of date. I'm just talking about the people, I think the most affected people would be the people in the middle of the road, where they have internet and stuff like that. Like, I'm not saying you don't have internet, but, like, it's not fast enough to reliably download a video game every time you want to buy one. Like, especially with game sizes nowadays. I just thought of something I wanted to talk about, and like, have you seen speaking of game sizes and everything like that?
Yeah.
Like,
I think I know which one you're gonna talk about. Go
the
on.
disaster of Star Wars Battlefront Classic.
Yeah.
Holy cow! Have you seen how big that game is? 52 gigabytes.
That thing was originally like 3.
Both games combined are 7 gigabytes, I think.
Yeah, both games. Yeah,
Battlefront 1 and 2. Battlefront 1 and 2. Like like the regular ones from 2005 and 6 are 7 gigabytes big, I think. Yep. Give or take. Less than 10 at least. And it's not a remake. It's a reboxing. A reboxing of both of them is somehow 52 gigabytes. Like, I don't even know how they got that big. Like, what? I honestly want someone to go deep into those files. Like, what is causing the bloat? Like,
I've already seen videos where they showed like all the bugs and everything, and it's hilarious.
It's not even just that. I assume you've seen you watch Moist Critical, right?
Yeah.
You've seen his video on it, right?
No, I have not yet.
Oh, okay. You should watch his video, but I'm going to spoil some of the video.
Go for it.
He plays the game, right? The lag is hilarious, Alchem. It is The servers are so laggy. They're like, it's like they took the servers that they used from 2005. Like, it's so bad. Like, it's awful. It's actually hilariously bad. Like, seeing the people just, like, warp all over the place, and, like, he just dies randomly because he's died technically 30 seconds ago. Like, it's so bad. And, like, some of the funniest things from this. So did you hear, like, I think the funniest, I say funny, it's really sad at the same time, because all these things prove, at least to me, putting my tinfoil hat on, proves to me that this was just 100% a cash grab. Like,
oh no, they're banking on nostalgia, thinking people be.
This is 100%. This is 100% a nostalgia cash grab.
Yeah.
Because
look, I understand like releasing something for nostalgia, but this was you were just solely banking on people being too stupid to not care and just be like, my Star Wars.
Yeah, they literally didn't. They didn't do anything with the game. Like, they literally did nothing with the game. But I want you to take a guess how many servers were available at launch. And when I say server, I mean when you click on the multiplayer, you see a list of servers of which lobbies you can join. 64 players each. How many servers were there?
Was it at least more than double digits?
No.
7?
It was 3.
10,000
people bought the game at launch. Just about 200 people could play at once because of how little servers there were. Which, by the way, these servers, horribly laggy. Like I said, like they were horribly laggy. I actually don't remember who bought. I mean, it's technically Disney, right? But
they didn't care.
I can just look this up. It's still on Steam. It has an overwhelmingly negative review.
They're not, and I don't think they're gonna take it down. They're just gonna be like, "Haha, you bought this. Good luck, sucker."
Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection, mostly negative. It is developed by Aspire. What have they done before? Okay, they worked on the Tomb Raider remaster apparently.
What?
Browse.
What? I'm looking at more gameplay, so now I'm seeing what. I'm seeing this.
Oh, they're the people who.
Yeah.
They made Mafia 3, which is, in many people's opinion, one of the worst ones. Oh, actually, no, they might have published it.
I would be so okay. I'm glad I wasn't like a huge Battlefront fan or anything like this. I'm glad I didn't get this either. I would be pissed.
Oh, I can only imagine the returns on this. Like people buying it and realizing they can't even play it and they just refunded. Because I mean, Steam still got that 2 hour policy,
2 hour thing,
right? So like, if you can't even play the game, like I can't imagine it being like this was awful.
This is genuinely this is like the figurative spit on the face of the fans. Like this is like, hey, you love this game? Oh, yeah, we brought it back. We can't call it a remaster. Can't call
it's not a remaster. It's remake. I mean, at least they didn't call it a remaster. It's just called the Classic Collection.
Is that what we're gonna call it now? Is that what we're gonna?
It's called
shoddy ports.
Yeah. Well, it's not even a port. The game's for PC. You gotta remember. I don't know what they did, Alchem. The game's on PC. Like, arguably, here's the funny thing, Alchem. The Star Wars Battlefront 2 servers, right now, like the regular edition, still work. Like, you can still play Battlefront 2. I don't know why this edition exists.
Yeah, I was about to get to the point where, like, well, then why? Why make this?
I don't know why it exists. It's so weird. I think it's one of those things where, one, obviously it's nostalgia bait, and they wanted to make a quick buck. But, like, I just don't... What I want to see is I want someone to go into I want someone to deep dive into this game, and I want to see those game files. I want to know what caused the 52 gigabytes. Like, what's 52 gigabytes? What's making these 52 gigabytes in here? Like, I'm so curious what made this. It's like 7 gigabyte game 52. Like, I have Battlefront 2 on my Steam library. And like, here, let me just quickly check. Let me scroll down. I have to find my Star Wars games. Because I have a bunch. At one time I bought the Star Wars like bundle collection because it was on sale for like $20. So I have like a ton of the Star Wars games. Yeah. So this game, how do I see game size? Properties, probably?
Yeah, it would be under properties. Johnny,
Is it
don't
under
worry.
general?
It's just how Disney keeps an eye on
Okay.
their...
So Star Wars Battlefront 2 2005 edition is 9.59 gigabytes big. Bigger than I thought. But still less than 10 gigabytes. Like, where's the other 40 plus gigabytes that this game added on? And I can't imagine
about your actions.
I can't imagine the first Battlefront being bigger.
No, it's just I swear it is probably something to keep monitoring what the hell you're doing on your game. There's no reason for it to be as big as it is. What
it probably is, it's uncompressed assets.
It's most likely it's uncompressed assets for textures and certain
Which, by the way, is hilarious because these textures are like not
that
like
big.
Look, not to, not to rag on a game that was made in 2005 because, it's not a bad looking game for 2005, but like you don't need these textures uncompressed. They are not that good looking enough that you need to see it in 4K resolution uncompressed. I'm just saying. Like, I call it a hot take, but I don't think the 2005 graphics need to be uncompressed. It's just so sad,
It seems like every year the bar keeps just getting set lower by corporations and companies that just don't care anymore about it. They just want a quick buck. It's all just... And they're not even, like I said, they're not hiding it. At this point, they're gonna get cartoonishly evil. It's just gonna be literally let's just make shitty shillware that people will like because we're gonna incorporate something that gamers enjoy, or just something that they can't resist, and it's just gonna keep happening. And until the day comes where everyone, and like I mean everyone, just doesn't buy it, or like
the problem is people keep buying it
financially. Yeah,
which another side effect is because a lot of people aren't...
Nostalgia works.
Not only nostalgia works, we are also forgetting the majority of people aren't chronically online like we are, so they don't know.
Yeah, they don't know.
And it's like there's definitely taking advantage of the fact that most people don't know how just terrible these companies are now. Video game companies specifically.
My brain was just terrible. Yes.
Terrible. It's like objection, but terrible.
Terrible. And also, they took my money.
They did.
How dare they? This is why I don't trust... At this point, I've gotten to the point, I don't trust AAA games until I wait a week and then hear every other gamer's opinion.
I haven't.
Or my friends, or like YouTube video content creators who kind of review games. Because I'd rather hear their opinion because they're either... They don't make it over the top. They don't make it crazy. They're not talking about pointless stuff that doesn't matter. They actually play the game. Hi, IGN. You don't play the games you put articles for.
I mean, IGN is better nowadays. They still don't sometimes, though.
Yeah, what was that post about Helldivers? Come on, guys, do your job. Someone actually.
I didn't actually read that game. I didn't actually read the article, though. I mean, to be fair, I agree with what you said, and I think what I said was pretty reasonable, but
sometimes
I
they
can
slip up and just like, come on, guys.
I mean, that definitely felt like that was definitely a clickbait article. Let's be real here. Like,
or written by AI.
I don't know if IGN has done that. I don't think they have. I mean, the problem is that sometimes the writing quality of IGN is hard to tell. So Honestly, I would say IGN is pretty good most of the time if you want like a basis of something, you know? Like I think, you know, not to put on my white knighting of anything, I think games journalism has a bad rap, unnecessarily bad rap nowadays, because I think for the most part it's fine. The problem is that it was really bad like 10 years ago. And they've never really recovered from that. And IGN doesn't help themselves sometimes.
No, they don't.
And really well, it's also another thing of where like you're also trying to say like, you know, there's nonstop Oh god, I'm dying. Sorry.
I'm dying. Oh my god. It's my
there's
job.
like
I'm supposed to do that.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm stealing your job. I'm taking your job. I'm taking your job. I'm sorry.
Took my job.
Yeah, I took your job.
My job.
You took your job. But what I was getting at was sometimes I feel the games journalists, this is not specifically on IGN, but I do feel like games journalism in general does feel the need to try to play both sides of stuff many times. And what I'm trying to say is like there's a lot, like I don't think any reasonable person is going to say that Helldivers 2 is a bad game, you know? I'm sure that there's of course haters. There's always going to be people who don't like a game. But like objectively, it's a fun, like if you like that genre or something like that, there's a lot of positive buzz around it, you know? But and they're like, okay, well, let's have some negativity is the wrong word, but let's have some counter things, you know what I mean? Like there isn't always going to there not everything has to be positive. And to be fair, I agree with that. There you should be looking critically at everything. Just because it's really popular doesn't mean you shouldn't take criticism, like look at it critically, or always, you know, what's it called? Like everything can be improved in a way, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And though I do think they took the wrong angle, like the monetization I think is one of the best things about that game, because they could have gone so dirty with that game. But it's like one of the most generous live service games ever, in my opinion. Probably.
We're doomed. The gaming era is doomed. I swear.
It's good. It's good. Good. It's okay. We need that clickbait title anyway.
I'm gonna be that doomer now. And
You're
when it comes to gaming, they're like gaming is doomed.
It's not doomed. It's not doomed. I promise you, it's not doomed.
Doomed.
What is doomed is the AAA gaming space. The AAA, specifically the AAA games is... doomed is not, like... They're not going bankrupt anytime soon. You know what I'm saying?
No,
like,
plateaued.
But, like, they have to change in order to keep going at the rate they want to keep going. Because the problem is
plateau
that
where nothing they do, if they continue what they're doing now, they're not going to see any growth, profit, or anything significant.
Not enough, not nearly enough.
Down, or worse, they'll start to see a decline.
Yeah, I mean
the practices back then are not appreciated now. No one likes it anymore.
Well, it's not just that. It's just that they're forgetting. Like it's, I'm gonna go real old school here, and talk about Atari. Because
as a young one, lay it on me, Jelly.
I hate you. Anyway, you're older than me. Don't get this on. I'm pretty sure you're older than me, so don't lie to me like this. I'm the young one out of us two.
Could you?
Okay, so
you were saying
what they're forgetting about is the reason I was talking about Atari is that game companies, at least some of them, seem to be forgetting the key concept of the thing with the video game is that the video game needs to be good. It can't just have tons of buzzwords on it, right? And the reason I brought up Atari is because right before the video game crash in the 80s, part of the reason that caused it is that Atari super banked on two games doing well. And those games were E.T. and Pac-Man for the Atari 2600. And those games were awful. Like Pac-Man, the arcade version, of course, is an amazing game. It's very classic.
Mm-hmm.
But the Pac-Man home version they made was so bad because it was just awful. But the thing is, they advertised it so much, and then so like everyone just thought video games were bad, right? Because they're forgetting the fact that just because you can't just have all the buzzwords, the game needs to be good. Which is, it's like Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad has had so much marketing, had so much, just like things behind it. You know, they had the last voice lines of the oh god, I can't remember his name now. The problem is like
Kevin Conroy.
Yeah, Kevin Conroy. The problem is I know him as Batman. I couldn't remember his real name because I just call him Batman. But yeah, like he has Batman.
Just step away for 1 second. I'll be right back.
It's okay.
So please continue.
Yeah, I'll keep going. So like they have Batman, they had Batman, they had all the names of like Harley Quinn and stuff. But the problem is that the game is boring and like meh, and the story is meh. No one cares, and it's just one of those things where it's so weird that it's, I don't know. It's just one of those things where it just kind of like I feel like it's a disconnect between game companies and consumers, where they're forgetting the fact that good video games still sell very well. And I feel like the bar has become very oddly high, or like, I don't know what it is about game developers and their budgets, but it just like, if your game sells 6 million copies, I don't think that should be considered a failure, which for some game companies it is a failure. It's like, I remember one of the old stories of I'm going to start dunking on Square Enix now, because Square Enix is notorious for like having crazy amounts of sales for a game and then declaring it a failure. Like when the new Tomb Raider games came out, I think they sold 6 million copies and they deemed it a failure because apparently 6 million copies wasn't enough to make a profit. Which, by the way, if 6 million copies sold and you're still not making a profit, someone needs to get a talking to about managing a budget, because I don't know what success you're thinking of when you're making a video game and saying 6 million is not enough. Like, I think there's severe mismanagement there if you think that's like, I don't know, like, I don't know what scale they're talking about when 6 million copies is not enough to make profit. Not even profit. It's like, how is you rise as you laggily show up. Okay. I don't know what it is, Alchem. You've gone very laggy on my side.
Have I? Okay, let me reset that. Hold, give me 1 second.
Yeah.
Let me reset that for you.
But I was talking. So I started talking about how actually it kind of fixed itself. Maybe it was just because of the drastic movements.
It probably was.
But I kind of started talking about how, along with like them understanding that the video game has to be good, I also feel like the bar especially like AA games and like indie developers can obviously fall fault to this too, but I definitely feel like it's most common in the AAA industry, is that the bar is just, I don't want to say too high, because I don't think you should always try to go as high as you can, you know? I'm not saying you should go low, but like,
Jelly?
I feel like it's unrealistic.
I have like a kind of, I'm going to be like devil's advocate and kind of put a, so I understand, you know, I believe the concept too. Game, in order to succeed, has to be good. The problem is, what constitutes a good game, especially when you work in a business where innovation and changes and taking risks and putting something out there that no one has seen or no one's done before can either be a make it or break it situation where companies have put everything on the line. Some of them like put all their money, everything in one basket, and then it fails miserably.
That's true.
And then they see an indie company, or they just see a third party, or someone individually just working on a game just for fun, put out a game with the most simplest, basic concept, and it sells like absolute crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. We've seen it with Palworld. We've seen it with all these tiny little mobile games. Hell,
I mean, I don't know. Power World is
Flappy Bird?
Power World is a little is I would say it's not necessarily a simple game.
Yeah.
But I see what you mean. Yeah.
But okay, fine. Flappy Bird, freaking Flappy Bird.
I mean, Flappy Bird was straight up illegal.
Yeah. But for some reason, a game with the most basic, rudimentary concept became one of the most popular things. So much that apparently it haunts the creator.
It literally haunted the creator. It's true. I don't know why, but that's a whole different thing.
That's a thing for him and his psychiatrist to talk about.
That's him and his therapist.
But that's where it's like, damn, gaming can be weird because you can put the most amazing,
well, it's all subjective
concept.
Sorry,
exactly.
Yeah, it's all subjective.
It is, yeah. Art. You can talk
subjective.
about it like in terms of art. It is subjective. So
it's very
what makes
subjective.
a good game depends on the person that is playing.
Yeah.
I mean, for God's sakes, you could literally have a game come out, give it to one of the best game reviewers or one of the people who love talking about video games, who has the biggest following. He straight up just shits on the game and hates it.
Yep.
And then everyone else, because they just saw their gameplay, but they didn't bother actually playing it, they don't know. And then some other people actually play and are like, oh, wait, this is actually really good. This guy I guess he just doesn't like this genre. Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those things where you also gotta kind of know the audience too. Like you shouldn't sit like if you're. It's like every once in a while I see game developers send. I mean, okay, this is slightly a bad example, but like it kind of works because he's a little different. But Shroud, every once in a while gets sponsored for doing single player games, and I'm like, I feel like he is the wrong person to sponsor for a single player game. It's not that he doesn't like single player games, because most of the time when he plays a single player game, he loves it, right? It's a game he's really willing to play. But I'm saying, like, I don't think Shroud's audience is the right audience for that.
That's the fault of whoever the hell decided that would be.
Yeah.
That's the marketing team.
It does feel like a little disconnect, but I'm like, he's known for Counter-Strike and now Valorant, and he's just known for godlike FPS skills. But you're playing a third person action fantasy RPG, and you sponsored him for it, and you're paying him for it. He's enjoying it and talking good about the game, but is that audience really going to buy that game? I mean, to be fair, if they're loyal to Shroud, they might. So it's like one of those things where it's like you're banking on the fact that they're loyal to Shroud, period. And like I said, he's a little bit of a bad example because he's got his own like following. Like he's more of a personality than a game thing, you know what I mean? But
yeah. But I get what you're saying because that's an example of aiming to the wrong demographic. Because you put a RPG game to an FPS player and it's following of FPS players, and you expect them all to suddenly become RPG players.
Yeah.
That may not pan out.
I mean, that's definitely a risk. It's definitely a risk. That's where you have to weigh the pros and the cons of that.
Yeah. Especially if you're sponsoring them or if you're paying them or if you're giving them something in order for them to advertise your game.
Yeah. I mean, if you're giving them just a free game code and they happen to play it, I say that's 100% worth it. Yeah. But if it's like if it's a full-on sponsor, then that's definitely more a risk. It's like
you're offering them something, you're offering them some kind of deal in order to advertise your game.
Yeah. It's always a risk. But another thing I was talking about, Alchem, which I do agree with your devil's advocate of, having the good video game is subjective, and I agree. What I don't know if you'll be able to play devil's advocate with this.
Oh no, hit me with it. Let me try.
I think the AAA industry, sometimes indie games, and like everyone in between, sometimes it depends, but mostly the AAA industry have unrealistic expectations in terms of sales. Because there's been so many times where I've seen in the headline 6 million sold, failure. Like, I don't understand. The biggest offender of this to me is Square Enix, because Square Enix is always talking about how they're never selling enough copies. I'm like, guys, you've making single player JRPGs or RPGs and you're complaining you only sold 6 million copies, or only sold 10 million copies, or only sold 3 million copies. I'm like, guys, like, where's the expectations here? These are the most game sales you've ever had, period.
So the I'll say one thing. They tend to pull this out of how much they spent per game, because
True.
you have to pay.
They're trying to be
everyone for all
profitable.
their work, for rights to the music, for creative artworks, or whatever designs they put, whatever work they put to make the models, to make the music, to make the textures, to make the story, to do the voice acting, if there even is voice acting, the writing, all that. And not only do you have to consider that the profit enough to pay everything off,
Yeah.
which usually a publisher will do anyway, because they're already paying everyone for that.
Yeah,
but they have to make sure that their stockholders, especially for AAA especially.
AAA, the stockholders matter a lot. True.
Yeah, and the stockholders are the ones that matter the most. They don't need to show their gamer. They don't need to show their gamers anything like that. They have to show their stockholders, because they make the wheels go round. Company. Yeah. So you have to make sure that you have to tell them these ridiculously high numbers. You have to tell them this thing is going to be the next GTA 5. This is going to be the
everything has to go up.
Yeah. Everything has to constantly go up, because then if they don't get if they don't get enough support, the investments will go away for the next game and the next game and the next game. And what's worse is if they start losing faith in the company, or if they start losing faith in the developer, they will start pulling away from future projects, and future projects will go under, and you'll just have it'll just start spiraling out of control. That's why they have this dumb mentality of
which it kind of is right now. Which it kind of is right now.
Yeah. And also, there's this stupid mentality where everything has to be related to numbers. How many people are consistently playing? How many sales it had day one? That one's the dumbest one. The whole day one sales.
I mean, day one sales are cool. Like, I mean, there is some. To be fair, there is some like research done on that, of where a product's first 24 hours is generally the most profitable, or it's where it sells the most. But that's generally because that's when the advertising stops after launch, especially for video games. After a video game launches, you basically see no ads for it.
Yeah.
Especially traditionally. Nowadays there's a little fine lining because there's seasonal updates and stuff like that. But generally, a lot of people say the first week is the big prime time, and if you want to go even more microscopic, is the first 24 hours is the biggest time.
I'll be honest with you. I feel like marketing has kind of slipped up lately, because some stuff comes out that I don't even realize comes out anymore.
Yeah.
Good example is the Kung Fu Panda movie came out. I had no idea it came out.
I'm going to be real with you, Alchem. I didn't know there was 4 Kung Fu... I didn't know there was 2... I didn't know there was a second and a third Kung Fu Panda. When did those come out? I watched...
You didn't know that he met his family and everything?
He has a family?
Yeah, he met his father. It was Bryan Cranston.
But No, the goose is his father, obviously. Or the bird. The bird laid an egg and a panda came out, Alchem. Don't ruin this for me.
I'm so sorry. It was actually Bryan Cranston. He said, "Oh, we need to cook."
Oh no!
And then he just. But no, that I didn't know it came out. I heard about it a month or two ago, and then I didn't hear anything. I never saw it on YouTube ads. I never saw it posted on anything, even Twitter, because when you scroll around on Twitter, you still see ads now. So I didn't see anything.
You see mostly.
And then all of a sudden, and then now I suddenly see people posting saying it opened to poor numbers and poor sales and didn't make that much of a profit. And I'm just like, that came out? I thought it was coming out in the summer or something.
Yeah. No. It's also just not. It's not just marketing though. It's also the fact that ads now are algorithmic. So the fact that YouTube never served you ads like that, or Twitter never served you ads like that, or TikTok didn't serve you ads like that, because it's just one of those weird things where it's kind of like weird now that marketing really has zero handle. I'm not sure if handle is the right word, but
They don't care about the demographic. They're looking at your own individual like search data and what.
Well, it's not. No, it's not even just that. If they have no control over when you see it. Like the actual marketing team has zero control of when you see it. It's all about algorithms now.
Jelly, I one time recently I bought a concert ticket to some singer for my mom because she doesn't know how to order online.
Yep.
And then from that moment on,
you get nonstop
YouTube
ads.
video, every YouTube ad was about their concert for at least a week.
You know what the funny thing is for me? I don't understand why constantly. You already bought the tickets. Like, what else are you gonna do?
Yeah, what am I gonna do? I don't need to know about the concert anymore. I bought it. Why am I? I'm not the demographic anymore.
Yeah, that to me is weird because like it feels like it's like a failure of the algorithm. It's like, guys, you know everything I do on my computer. Don't lie to me. I know you do. Why are you selling me stuff? Why are you selling me stuff I already own?
If you're selling the information that I went to the website for this concert, then couldn't you put 2 and 2 together and realize, oh, he probably bought it?
Yeah.
Or they probably purchased it.
Well, it's not even just that. Don't, like, companies, stop lying to me. I know you know my purchase history.
Oh, yeah, no, they definitely
They 100%
share.
You 100% know it.
Share.
You 100% know it. Don't lie. It's okay. You can still lie to me, but just don't pretend that you don't already know that I've already bought this. Stop trying to make me buy it again. Sell me something different, please.
Just
look, I'm being a responsible consumer of capitalism. Advertise things that I don't own. Okay? Because then maybe I would buy it. I'm not going to buy it, but maybe I'll buy it.
Those of you watching on the podcast, just know, those who are watching on YouTube, whatever the hell you watched, whatever the hell you purchased, whatever the hell you looked up.
Everyone knows.
Everyone knows.
If they want to know, they'll find out.
People don't know, but companies know. Google
knows
and has shared it with people, and they're going to try.
No, not just sharing it.
Buy more.
They're selling it.
Yeah, they're selling it. Yeah, your information, the meager information of you going to a website just to buy or browse, is probably a couple bucks for them, and they will sell it in a heartbeat.
It's not just it's not a couple bucks. It's much more than that.
Yeah. No, but I mean collectively they're selling it for thousands. But it's collectively, like
you're generally in a group. You're generally in a group.
Yeah. Yeah.
They sell it in groups generally.
It's not a hidden
You keep going, Alchem. I need to be right back.
Okay. Yeah, but yeah, it's not a tinfoil hat thing. It's not a secret. They mention it. Hell, you get like notifications when you're on certain websites where they say, "Hey, we collect your info, but we don't do anything with it." That is a lie. Then why are you collecting my info? You can opt into or opt out of stuff, but yeah, they'll still do it, and that's why they'll target you. But like Jelly and me were saying, sometimes they just miss the mark, or their algorithms are stupid, in my opinion. But that's also like again, that's just advertising and just publishing and everything that just messes up the gaming market too, because they don't target to the right audience. They don't know what their audience wants, or they don't know who to hit. And that's why some games either miss the mark when it comes out, or sometimes you just don't even notice these games coming out. That's why I've been constantly just trying to look up games every month, just being like, okay, what cool games are coming out this month? Look into it, see this title. Title looks awesome. Box art looks awesome. Read synopsis, looks into it. Because otherwise, I'm going to miss out on some games that are really, really cool. Sometimes I have to miss out on it because of financial reasons, but that's just how it be. At least I know that this game exists and that I can try it out later. Until Warner Brothers decides we're gonna pull our games from the market. But nice. Let me just make sure I have everything set up. So Jelly was talking about some other stuff like the old market crash of ET and Atari back then. Because Jelly normally goes on a roll with this. I kind of just tag along, and then I just like, I'm gonna be devil's advocate and throw a monkey wrench into this argument or discussion. Anything else that we want to mention? Let's see. Jelly. Oh God, is this what Jelly goes through on it? those on Jelly's Patreon, is this what Jelly goes through when I'm not there? And just like Jelly's just like, all right, we'll get started soon when Alchem shows up. This is what I do to him. This is exactly what I do to poor Jelly. I know. I'm so sorry, Jelly. I now understand.
All right, I'm back. What's happening?
It just dawned on me. This is what I do to you. This is what I do to you when I don't show up on time. For the
Did you have an existential crisis of realizing?
Yeah, I did. I was like,
talking to yourself,
like,
for an extended period of time.
Yeah, because I'm like, oh my god, what do I can't bounce ideas. I can't do anything. I just have to roll with it. And I'm like, oh Lord, this is what I have to do. You do.
Well, you just gotta talk to yourself. Learn to talk to yourself. That's what I do.
But see, I do that. I try that, and then I end up breaking a mirror.
Damn, unlucky.
Sorry, just infuriating. That guy in the mirror infuriates me.
It's true. He does steal everything from you.
No, especially, But
all right. So, are we done with the tinfoil hats now?
The little rant. Yeah, tinfoil hat moment.
The tinfoil hat moments are gone.
Yes.
Okay, so I have another small topic to talk about because I just thought it was cool. This is gonna date the episode a little bit because the Steam spring sale is going on right now.
Well, I'm gone.
What?
Go on.
What did you say?
I was gonna be like, as the kids.
As the kids would say, I'm gonna find out where you live, Alchem.
All right. So,
and
what's that about the Steam sale?
The Steam sale, the art that was made for it, the art, like I don't. It's not the logo, but like the banner thing. Yeah. Like, they showed the artist got to like show off, like they were the ones that did it, all that stuff, and I'm like, man, they just straight up hired an artist for this like anime thing, and it's like very anime influenced, this art thing. I was just like, oh, that's cool. Even Steam knows, even Valve knows where the audience is right now. It was just funny to me.
It's like,
because
it's like our current generation of gamers is influenced highly not by U.S. animation or Western animation, but more, Japanese culture. Yeah, that anime. Well, look,
I'd argue Asian actually. I'd say Asian because there's a lot of Korean stuff as well.
I always saw it like this. I always saw like, as a kid, you liked cartoons because cartoons related to stuff to you as a child growing up slightly.
Yeah.
Up to maybe like your 10s and teens and stuff. And then once you start reaching adolescence, like 13, 14 and above, and like even into your 20s, anime became related to you because a lot of those are slice of life. A lot of those are coming of age stories. A lot of those are actiony. They still are cartoony because it's all fictional, but it has a better sense of like relatability because you're coming up. It's a character around your age. It's a character in high school, middle school, maybe just entering adulthood, and the topics are a lot more grittier and more like real because they're not little kids. They're not like dealing with dumb stuff like Rugrats or something like that, or Kids Next Door, or Gumball or anything like that, or. I mean, Adventure Time was a good example of Adventure Time was a good example of a Western cartoon that dealt with more grown-up matters and more grown-up issues that a lot of people like more higher than the demographic would enjoy.
Yeah, I honestly didn't watch it. I haven't watched a lot of things though. Come on, Alchem, you know this. Alchem, you know this. Don't leave. You can't. Nope. You're locked.
It's unbelievable.
I'm going. I told you. All right. Okay, I'll exit for you. I'm moving you away. Keep walking.
Yeah, man. Keep walking.
You're walking the wrong way. There you go. Okay. All right, you're off. Thank you. All right, I'm getting you back on. Walk back in.
All right, fine.
Walk back in. See, the funny thing is, your stream can't see this, but
I forgot. Chat, I forgot. Those watching on the live, I forgot to turn off my camera so it doesn't follow me. It's following me as I move.
But yeah, I just thought that was cool. You know, I just thought it was like, oh, they just straight up hired a guy person that does like a lot of anime style art. Because honestly, that was the when I opened the Steam sale, I was like, oh, they just straight up have like an anime girl on a bike, a motorbike.
Oh, I see it. Anime girl, pink hair, cat ear hat.
With the cat ears and everything. It's like, damn, they like really
went. Why does the cat have a hat?
Why not?
You know, fair enough. I normally, when I'm a little cat, I normally have that too.
Like,
I normally have a hat on too.
Come on now. That. Well, not just that. Come on, you've seen the cat videos. There are many hats made for cats, and shoes, and sweaters.
You say that most of the cat videos I see now are like boyfriend girlfriend kind of.
Oh yeah, I see all of those. I actually really like those. I think they're funny.
They're nice actually. They're really good. I can't believe that they're using cat emotes and dog emotes to express us. They're just like us.
I think the funniest ones is I found a history channel on TikTok that uses those images to describe historical events. It's hilarious. Watching those cat things with descriptions of the Roman Empire was hilarious. The best thing ever.
Oh my.
It's great. Oh, I do have to also mention, just as a follow-up, now my mom likes to make many jokes about frying things in water. Now, she makes jokes about that many times. It's pretty funny, to be fair.
You know, I do enjoy it. See, that's not a crime because she knows that she's joking.
She's joking. I mean, she's not cooking anything when she's making the joke.
Yeah, I know.
She's just saying we should though.
as long as you don't suddenly come at me and tell me that they're like trying to replicate those weird TikTok.
Oh no, my mom doesn't watch TikTok. Videos. My mom only consumes TikTok by the TikToks I think she would like. And I say, "Hey, mom, look at my phone." My mom does not watch TikTok. She would not understand TikTok. She hates.
It's a
overall. She hates TikTok overall. Yeah. Actually, that's not true. She doesn't get it. Hate is a strong word.
Yeah, fail to understand it. Understand that I can get that because like some of the
videos
that get posted up there are weird.
I mean, it's just you know what? Okay. You know what the weird thing about TikTok for me is? It's just we're just back in early YouTube with TikTok. It's 2007 and everyone's posting random things. Yeah. It's just like early YouTube. It's like 30-second cat videos or like Charlie bit my finger. It's just that.
Or 10 minutes of an anime.
Yeah. Or 10 minutes of like every movie imaginable. I basically see movies now through TikTok by accident.
Yeah. It's like I literally have just been watching so also I'm trying to retrain my brain because when I watch TikTok I notice that for some unknown reason when I watch those stupid dual video TikToks where they have one video up top and some dumb gameplay at the bottom, usually dumb marble game. My eye just wanders down to the stupid marble game.
You know what the funny thing is? I honestly stop watching. When I see those videos, I seriously just want to watch the game. I block everything. I'm like, dude, this game actually looks kind of fun. I wish I knew what some of these games names were. I'm like, I would play a round or two of these games.
This is why, and the part is, I'm like, I want to watch the video, but why the fuck is my eye getting drawn to the game? It shouldn't be. I just feel like
no, it should be. It should be. It literally is designed to be so that you look at that instead.
This is why I'm like slowly trying to.
It's like
my eye wanders down. Like nope. Focus on video.
Every once in a while, I'm like, should I download Subway Surfer? Should I? Bless you. It's like
sorry, nonsense.
Every once in a while, I'm like, I mean, like the game isn't bad. Like it's just a good game. It's like a decent game. Should I just do it? But it's whatever. And the answer is no, because I actually don't enjoy playing games on my phone, honestly. I really don't like it. I'll admit, I'm an old man when it comes to that. I do not enjoy playing games on my phone. I don't like touch controls.
Oh, I get that.
Like I find them very frustrating. The only time I've ever enjoyed playing mobile games, funny enough, is Honkai Star Rail, only because I'm not playing. I'm clicking the battle. I'm grinding things and clicking auto battle. So I'm not actually playing. I'm just doing the annoying repeat battles over and over again to get resources and stuff. And I'm like, I'm not actually the one playing, so that's why I don't mind it. And it's a turn-based game, so even if I do play every once in a while, I'm like, the touch controls, I don't mind touch controls when I'm playing a turn-based RPG. But I tried. It's like I've tried to play Pokemon Unite once.
Oh.
On mobile, and holy cow! First of all, it made me very depressed of how little lag there was, because on the Switch,
yeah.
it's so laggy. The menus are so laggy on the Switch. But and I was playing on the phone. I'm like, man, this is just so much smoother. But man, do I hate these controls. And I have a there's a couple games I have played on my phone before, because I have I don't know what they're called, but it's a controller for my phone. Like it turns the phone into a controller. Like it's one of those things, and it doesn't work for Pokemon Unite. I was so sad when it didn't work for Pokemon Unite. I was like, I would have played Pokemon Unite so much more on my phone.
I was gonna say though, I agree with you, where everything feels like it's just reversing back to what you said. How TikTok just feels like old school YouTube kind of thing.
It's literally just YouTube. It's literally just 2006, 2007, 2008 YouTube.
I've already said this. I predict in the future, and I see it happening with certain things, like especially like the streaming platforms. They are slowly evolving into what was cable back then. They're buying each other out. They're buying
they're buying content. They're buying creators and stuff.
Yeah, they're buying not just like individual shows. They're trying to buy the ones that hold the shows, like Hulu, and I think Hulu teamed up with Disney or some shit.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. So eventually it's gonna be this point where you just buy certain services because they have all these different things, and it's not just like shows. No, they're like, we have these channels or we have these platforms. I'm like, you just reinvented cable.
The worst ones are when you have seasons 1 to 3 of something on one platform, and then seasons 5 to 6 on a different platform.
Yeah, so I'm just like,
I think I saw I think it was either a tweet, or I was on Instagram, and it's an image of a tweet, because that's all Instagram is. And it's this guy saying, I really enjoy looking up a show to see which specific week availability is in for which streaming platform that I have 7 of, to see when it's available. This is so much better than buying a DVD. I'm so glad we got rid of those. Mm-hmm. In a very sarcastic tone. No, it's like, I'm like, I mean, honestly, my immediate response is, guys, they haven't gotten rid of DVDs. You just got to be patient for the DVDs. My mom watches shows through DVDs because my parents have streaming stuff, but actually, no, they don't actually. Now that I think about it, they got rid of all of it because they'd never used it. They got it for certain shows, and then once they watch the shows, they end it. But my mom waits until the DVD set is out,
and then
she buys the DVD set.
Yeah. Because she will always have that show, no matter what.
Yep.
It could be decades later, and she's like, "Oh, I want to rewatch the classic."
Yeah.
Hell, I did that with this old show that I loved. I literally got all the DVDs.
Oh yeah.
I gotta go find it to make sure I still have all of them. But I always enjoyed watching it, and I still sometimes, when I'm sometimes when I'm just in a mood where I just want to hear something in the background that I absolutely enjoy and work on stuff, that's what I do.
Yep.
Now, you can't do that now because when Netflix originally came out, that was the whole idea. You literally had all the shows because on original TV, cable, whatever, you could only watch when they played it, and they play on
unless you had PVR and something like that.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why Netflix started to win over cable, because you had the freedom to pick a show and watch it at your leisure and your time, and it had all the episodes. But then everyone else jumped in and bought the shows, bought the stuff, bought the individual seasons.
Yeah.
How can you?
The
How?
individual seasons, in the individual seasons, in my opinion, is the worst offender. Like, that is actually the worst offender. I'm like, first of all, I don't see the value of buying an individual season, because when people are buying when people are watching these things, especially for older shows, you're not gonna only watch one season most of the time. So it's like, I guess you're just trying to get that one that I get. I mean, I guess technically, if they do buy it, I guess it's worth it for them. I guess it's incredibly annoying. I'm not the target audience for this because I would never do it.
Yeah, no, neither would I. But I just don't.
But people do,
I
obviously.
don't see the logic.
People do. Obviously.
Never saw the logic there. I guess it's because you have no options. They're like, what are you gonna do? You can't really. You have no choice.
Well,
especially because most like movies and stuff are being phased out unless you buy it online. Then you're just like, what are you gonna do now, huh? Are you actually gonna try to order it and wait for it to get to you, or would you just like the convenience of pressing a button, signing up for a service, and get it right then and there?
Yeah. It's super frustrating.
Just. It's like technology just keeps we advance technology, but the way we actually digest it is just a step backwards again.
It's not even a step backwards. It's just a step sideways.
Mm.
It's honestly, the industry has accidentally or intentionally or accidentally or a combination of both created cable with extra steps.
It's
literally more frustrating cable. And I feel bad for everyone who enjoys shows and TVs and stuff. Like I am not the person, like, I don't watch things very much, honestly. Like, I don't really watch TV shows. I don't really watch most things unless people are, like, really into it and want me to. Like, what was the most recent thing that I've probably watched? Like, because of
Halo?
me. No, I didn't watch Halo. I saw... No, I was not interested in Halo. Like, I'm interested in a Halo show, but after hearing everything about it, not that one. And that was even before like the show actually came out, and just people talking about it and what was happening. I'm like, yeah, I'm not interested in this. I honestly, the hilarious thing is I want to say Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones might have been the last thing that I really watched while it was still, like, in the heyday of it. And arguably I didn't really watch it in the heyday, because I started watching Game of Thrones when everyone started hating on it after, when the season started getting really bad. Because everyone said, man, Game of Thrones sucks now. You should just go watch the older seasons. And I said, all right, sure. So I watched, like, some seasons 1 to 4. Maybe 5, and I was like, damn, that was pretty good. I'll never watch the new seasons because everyone says it sucks, and I'm not that interested, so. Well, actually, no, it was that where then all the stupid stuff started happening with all, like, the, like, HBO started being weird about it, so I'm like, you know what, we're not gonna have HBO anymore, so I'm not bothering. Like, I'm not gonna buy it myself, and I'm not gonna ask my parents to, like, renew it, so I'm like, I'm done. Bye, everyone. Game of Thrones, for me, ended at season 5. Which apparently is a really good ending point. For a lot of people. I can't remember, though. I can't remember if people said season 6 was good. All I remember is the people saying definitely the last season was awful.
Here I am standing here, I'm like, I never watched it. I don't know.
Hey, season 1's definitely, honestly, season 1 is definitely probably one of the best new shows I watched in a long time. Yeah, season 1 at least.
Time to actually maybe sit down and watch it then.
Maybe,
so I
yeah.
know whether or not it's good.
I mean,
everyone says it's good, so I'm like,
it's pretty good. It's definitely an interesting take on the whole fantasy medieval thing. In my opinion, it's definitely a more modern take. You know what I mean?
Oh. Okay,
it's a modern take on the. It's like, take generic fantasy and then insert modern ideas of how to do that. Because, I'm pretty sure even the guy who wrote it, George R.R. Martin, like, he's not pretending he is just straight up taking stuff from Lord of the Rings. Like, he's like, no. There's some heavily influenced stuff, you know? Like, there's of course, you got all the fantasy tropes, but it's like the modern take on those fantasy tropes with the fact that, you know, things are a little more grittier, you know? It's fantasy, but real. It's not true fantasy, you know what I mean?
Right.
And everything, I think one of the things I like about Game of Thrones personally is everything is a shade of gray. Like, are the good guys good? I mean, it depends on your point of view. If the good guys are good, and if the bad guys are bad, you know, it's a lot of gray. Like, there are, don't get me wrong, there are just straight up bad guys, but like, you kind of understand why, you know?
Yeah.
There's a lot more, like, there is no Lord Sauron, who is just blatantly, like, he's, like, hilariously evil, you know? Sauron is hilariously evil. And, like, Aragorn is just so good guy.
God,
That it's not that good and evil, you know what I mean?
You just reminded me of the mentality that people have where, well, back then it was very refreshing to have a villain character with a well-developed, well-done backstory to explain the actions and why they do it, why they are evil or bad.
I mean, they still have that. They still have that.
Yeah, no, they still have that. It's just that some people got tired of it, and they're like, no, I just want evil for evil's sake. I just want that absolute, like, dastardly bad guy. Yeah. And I think it's like a pendulum swing thing. We get too much of one, too much of another, and then people want the other. You know,
always.
They want the other one.
It's always like that.
Just need that one villain who has a great backstory, a great everything, but then just is evil just because. Like they give you their long-winded backstory of why they're evil, and it makes perfect sense, makes you cry, and makes you realize, oh, maybe you're right. And
I can fix them.
And then they just punch a kitten for no reason or something. I'm like, why'd you do that?
And you said, because I'm evil.
I'm evil. Yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes I think you need generic bad guys. Generic bad guys are great.
Yeah, they are. I can see the reason for both, because sometimes you want a villain that does the most heinous, despicable thing and has reason behind it, because then you actually are like, oh, okay, now I can see why you're determined to do this. Yeah. But sometimes you do just want that villain, like that overall, like they are the pinnacle of evil, and the hero must triumph that.
Yeah. Sometimes you just want to turn off your brain and say, look, I don't want to think about things. I don't want to question things. I want to see the good guys fight the good fight, and the bad guys eventually lose. Exactly. Because, you know, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, man, that's great. Yeah. Sometimes it's great seeing Aragorn crush Sauron every time. Sometimes it's good seeing orcs die. The orcs don't have to have a tragic gray area. It's okay. Sometimes you just got to see Tanukis get wrecked and skin them.
What?
And then maybe eat them.
What? Anyway,
so any last thoughts, Alchem, before we end the podcast today?
You're just gonna end it like that.
Yeah,
you're just gonna end it. Wow, okay.
That's how we're gonna end it. That's where we're gonna end it.
I see how it is.
Any last thoughts on any of the topics?
I'm calling it now. I swear. I'm calling it now for. I know we're probably bringing it back up again and again because it is still happening. It's still the changes are happening. People are gonna realize that, like you said, TikTok is basically YouTube.
Oh yeah.
It's
just old school YouTube. It's 2007 YouTube.
Old school YouTube, and streaming companies will eventually just evolve, like sidestep into what was cable originally. It's just gonna happen.
Maybe. And it depends on how much advertisers want, but yeah.
True. And also, AAA companies are going to die out.
Hey man, it's like
slowly.
I don't know about dying out, but they definitely have to do something. They can't. It's not sustainable. I don't think it's sustainable.
All the layoffs lately.
Yeah, but I don't know, man.
Apex lost.
Apex lost. Yeah, it's a complex issue. I don't think they're ever gonna die. I don't know. It's a complicated question.
Fair enough. We'll keep trying to answer to every.
I mean, luckily, it's also not only as a complicated question, is that there isn't really an answer right now, and I don't think we'll ever have one. It's definitely going to be an ongoing topic. But yeah, how about we have the shout outs first? You go first.
Oh yeah. So yeah. Hi everyone watching. My name is Alchem. I'm the little Tanuki VTuber. You normally see me on the podcast here, co-hosting with Jelly, and you can catch me usually on Twitch, where I'm just playing a wide variety of different games. I just kind of just wing it and have my fun. So feel free to stop by and enjoy if you'd like. I either am quietly enjoying my game, goofing off with friends, talking with everyone, even more now that I'm hopping on the VR chat. And you can also catch me on YouTube, where I just post a catalog of videos from past streams, and I'm also posting small shorts that I edit, especially onto YouTube Shorts and on TikTok, at least, unless it gets unless whatever the heck happens with TikTok, because I don't know what's happening right now. I don't know what the future holds for that one.
True. Yeah. That was another topic.
Find me on Twitch.
We'll probably have to talk about that next week.
Mm-hmm.
We'll know more about it. I was gonna bring it up, but I was like, dude, I don't know anything about it. I know the headlines, but it also doesn't affect me. So
just one of those. It's one of those crazy things. Once you dig into it. One of those things.
Anyway, thank you all. Thank you everyone for watching. I am the Techno Jelly, as Alchem said. For people watching live who have missed the beginning, the podcast is still going to be uploaded on the regular Sunday on my channel. I know we did it technically one day earlier for today, but I'm doing stuff when we normally record it, but it will still be uploaded live. Or not uploaded live, uploaded at the same time. So yeah, if you want to check that out, that's youtube.com/thetechnojelly. That's where I post all my stuff. I stream 3 times a week and post 3 videos a week as well, along with the podcast. I also have a TikTok, Instagram, and a Twitter, if you'd like to check me out on any of those things. If you want to see the before scenes and after scenes of the podcast, you can support me directly on Patreon, which will be they will be uploaded on the Monday after the podcast goes live. So I hope you enjoyed those. Thank you all for watching, and we will see you all next week. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye, guys.